in Zen, actually, as a mix of Indian Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, that spread throughout Tibet, China, Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. But in China, it's a mix of Taoism and Buddhism. And Taoist practice is the art of letting go, the art of doing nothing, setting no intentions, no wishing, no trying, not controlling.
Welcome to this new episode, and today we have Jaco back. How are you, Jaco?
Fine, thank you, Luca, my friend. Grazie, amico italiano.
Very nice. So Jaco has been one of the most successful interviews in terms of views, because he's very well connected, and I'm sure everybody wanted to watch your interview, which was very interesting. It was very practical as well. One of the few practical interviews I done, because Jaco was teaching me meditation at the time. So we were talking about Zen meditation. And today I had the pleasure of having a one-to-one session just now, so I feel very good and relaxed. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure. No? And so my question to you is, how did you feel it? You can see I have this voice vibration, which people call radio voice. And as soon in 3 minutes, I love to meditate people. And it works for me, what I feel, an experience in my body and mind, and I can see that you enjoyed it, or did you?
I enjoyed it very, very much, and there were 3 steps to it. First, we were sitting cross-legged position, and then on the floor, and then back cross-legged as well. And I'm very lucky these days because it's very easy for me to connect with meditation. And once I'm in the space, I have these warming sensations, this feeling
you
of energy
did have
moving.
that, yeah?
I did it very much, and I really enjoy the way that you use the heat and the cold as well.
Like warming up your body.
And cooling the mind.
But especially cooling down your head.
Yeah.
It's refreshing, cooling, the way I guide with words, cooling, refreshing, clarity.
As I told you, I didn't want to come out on meditation, so I was very sorry when first we moved from cross-legged to lying down, and then when we finished the lying down part, because I was such in a beautiful, relaxed, comfortable space.
And you had sensation of
oh yeah,
energy tingling?
So I think I wanted to tell you is mostly I have tingling sensations in the upper part of my abdomen, my heart, and my head. And
isn't that perfect, my friend?
Yes, and I have particularly, I tend to feel the throat quite a bit, whilst it's a lot harder for me to connect with the root and the lower chakras, unless I do it on purpose, because these sensations, I don't guide them, they just come to me. I can decide to move the energy to the lower chakras, but it doesn't come naturally to me to feel the moving of energy in the lower chakra.
I told you it can be a process of 3 years. Let's say like a hardcore Ashtanga practice, or not hardcore, that one we're doing at Michael Boiler Room here, 60 minutes a day. But then it takes 3 months up to 3 years, also with this thing. And if you're talking of the lower chakras, we're here to talk more the Zen style, not talk about metaphysical things. But still, to vibrate, to feel sensations in the lower 1, 2, 3, which are feminine, and the upper ones are masculine, and the heart is the middle, central. To vibrate the lower ones is, it can take 3, 5, and 10 years. Depends who are you meditating with, or did you have some master to guide it?
So in the type of meditation you teach, which is more like Zen inspired, can I focus the energy to the lower chakras? Because I can move the energy there if I do it, but then I'm not passive and submissive anymore, then I take charge of it, and that's not what you teach, right? I should just be letting go and see what happens to the body, right?
Yes, that's the point. That Zen is a mix, Chinese, from 8th to 12th century, Tang Dynasty, Song Dynasty, the golden age of Zen, discovered in the West, let's say since from 30s to 60s, 50s, 60s, the Beat generation. In Zen, actually, as a mix of Indian Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, that spread throughout Tibet, China, Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. But in China, it's a mix of Taoism and Buddhism. And Taoist practice is the art of letting go, the art of doing nothing, setting no intentions, no wishing, no trying, not controlling. And in the classical golden age, sayings of Zen masters was you can't achieve anything, you can't get anywhere, I have nothing to teach you. And the point is, by this kind of non-metaphysical soft practice, sensations that you're curious about how to manipulate them, they appear. Yeah. But even then they're not talked about. It's about attention training. It's about being in the present. You know that we live on Phangan a long time here, Koh Phangan, in many workshops, and everybody who's spiritually guiding claims to be there in the presence. But it is a direct experience. It's even useless to talk about it in a way. But we kind of having an interview. It's a practice and discipline of attention training. And this attention training is so simple. It's about sensing through your body awareness, through your breathing presence. It's sensing the intensity of the present moment, of being here and now. And all mystical traditions, I know you're also educated in Christian mystical traditions, and that's the point as well, to have a look back at European, for instance, mystical traditions, and any other, Islamic, Sufi, where that eternal infinity of the presence, that all the books, all YouTube, Facebook, all Phangan, retreats talking about, that some kind of esoteric meaning in it, that mystical moment of presence, of being here and now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm quite lucky because indeed I love meditation, so I do it every day. But let's talk about Qi.
In Chen style, which is 400 years old, the moving Qi energy is also something that's happening in 1, 2, 3 years.
Yeah, so you move daily. Energy with Qigong.
You can move, you can have sensing that energy. So I'm old school, I claim this is a kind of military or a kind of practice and discipline. Qi is something that also in Tai Chi, in movements, dance movements, happens. But it happens, I have an example. It happens in the way that Tai Chi is a hardcore physical exercise. That was martial arts as well. Now we use it as a therapy. But Ashtanga in the West has the power yoga meaning, which is a hardcore workout. Physical and nervous system cleansing. So if you buy a brand new Mercedes, expensive and luxury car, it has hydraulic system. Even the big trucks, you can use one finger to turn it left and right. Now, this hydraulic system is Qi. But if you have some factory error on that new model, mechanical error, it's not working. So the mechanics, circular mechanics of Tai Chi and daily repetition of Qigong, precision of mechanical movement, is producing Qi energy. I don't know what more can I say about it. It's obviously contributing to your health, is contributing, you connecting, feeling. but it's something that's physically happening through mechanical precision. And Tai Chi, as well as Ashtanga as a nervous system cleansing, is very demanding, very hard to practice. And people believe that once a week, a workshop, they can get there. I don't know. Is that the answer, my friend?
Because of course in science we know that the body harnesses different type of energy. So we have a chemical energy in the cells. We have electricity, so electrical energy, like neurons, etc. And also we have mechanical energy when we move the muscles. So these are the three types of energy that are known to science because are apparent and evident. And then there is a whole culture of vitalism, which means that according to vitalist philosophies, we also have a spark or a vital energy that is not really measurable to a certain extent, or not yet maybe. So the science discounts it completely. But this vital energy is apparent to many people, right? So if you see a 5-year-old healthy child playing, you see the level of vitality this little child has compared to a sick old person, for instance, you know, in a hospital bed with very low vibration. And you know, everybody kind of can connect to it. But the chi that you're talking about, what kind of energy it is exactly?
This, what you were talking about, vitality, it's definitely in Chinese Taoist tradition. And Zen is famous for being full of humor, masters. Joking and talking in paradoxes and taking piss out of their students, being childish, childlike, playful. So this is definitely the thing that people come with traumas to Koh Phangan, and this is a big issue. Who's an expert for treating them? But I can tell you about science. Now that you're born between Italy and Yugoslavia, you know, Istria, Dalmatia, Nikola Tesla was probably one who was into energy work. But I consider that still modern science, exact science as it is still very materialistic. I include also neuroscience, who's trying to measure mindfulness, brain waves. Then we can go back to Christian mystical thing and say it's Holy Spirit. It cannot be drawn from exact science materialistic. All Chinese medicine is based on that vitality, which excludes conceptual mind, which is Zen meditation about. The art of doing nothing, letting go, dropping, emptying your mind, which is helping that vitality, because our conceptual mind, we don't need it 80% of time. We need it for business, we need it for rational decisions, but 80% is pollution of kind of thinking. And that vitality, let's say in Eastern mysticism, you know, and since the 60s and the hippies and before that, there is that fascination, the presence moment, and this in Chinese tradition, childlike. Okay, Indian Hinduistic traditions are more devotional, all that kind. But it's a lot of devotional thing. It's to be like a child and trusting.
So, Jaco, can you tell us a little bit more about routines and habits? You say that indeed, in order to get the real benefits of this kind of practices, it takes 2-3 years, sometimes more, of constant practice. And we already established that more you do it, more you start liking it, more you want to do it anyway. But I mean, do you have a routine or some sort of a ritual that you do on a daily basis? Or why are these routines so important, in your opinion?
Luca. Any mastery is 10 years, be it tennis, basketball, piano playing, or proficient language, literature, whatever. And we have the psychology of happiness, which is about flow, being in the zone.
Sure.
And they interviewed Michael Jordan, basketball, NBA, and he said, I don't know, why is it going inside? They interviewed a piano player. He said, you know, if he knows by heart without looking, I don't know why these fingers are flying. This is the flow. This is a very intriguing TED.com conference on flow. You just Google flow TED. from 2004 by an old Chicago professor, Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi, of Hungarian origin, who grew up in Fiume, in Rijeka, in Croatia. But he's the founder of Psychology of Happiness. So, and he was doing a lot of research data on flow with scientists, poets, artists, people in sports, in music. So the point of this practice, to get into the flow, you really need to practice 1, 2, 3 years.
Routines. And rituals.
Habit. And this habit becomes a pleasure.
And
addiction.
And yourself, you teach almost every morning, I suppose?
I do teach every morning. But people ask me, do I meditate? How long can I sit hours? Once you do for your first 10 years, and I did next 10 years and next 30 years practice, I can help people get in the flow in 30 minutes to meditate them. And I love that. And someone cannot get there. There's that famous interview that I keep sending everybody, 30 minutes of an American lady Zen teacher when she was already 80. She said some people need 1, 2, 3, 10, 14 years, and some people never get into the flow.
Yeah.
But the point is that I really can get myself in 3 minutes there. And be it on scooter, be it on computer, I can be there. And you can measure it by my voice going very deep, deeper than normal. I do have this kind of radio voice, which is also energy working. But I feel I do it in 3 minutes. So for me, it's, priority. Oh, how can we, some, people who want to meditate together, this is my point on Koh Phangan. Do we have a regular practice together? Many people can't meditate on their own, alone, that's fine. So the practice of flow is something that requires repetition, habit. And only then it becomes a flow.
Yeah.
And in old yoga, for instance, about Ashtanga people, it is said, each asana sequence, vinyasa, and we have the simple one with Michael here, his Boiler Room studio, from his teacher, Matthew Sfinney from Byron Bay. It's, in old yoga texts, it's 1,000 repetitions for each asana, and it's around 3 years, my friend.
I get it. Well, Jaco, thanks a lot for showing up today for another little chat on YouTube, and thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you. I'm so happy. We're going to make another one in a year's time. Thank you, everybody.